Well, welcome guys. Terrence here from Neptune Systems, bringing you another episode of Let's Talk Reef. Happy to be here and bring this to you guys. You know, we're hopefully going to be doing this every other week. Like I said, we did skip a week because of Black Friday, so hope you guys didn't miss us too much. I've got a few things here this week for you guys. Most of it's going to center around Neptune Systems gear this week. Having just finished the Black Friday weekend, we thought it would be pretty appropriate with many of you guys out there with a lot of new Reef gear, a lot of new Neptune Systems gear. So let's get right on into it. Hopefully we get a bunch of people joining in on us right now. We are live on YouTube and on Facebook. We see a lot of people coming in on YouTube. That's great. Feel free to ask questions as we go through the program. That's what we want to see, so we can be interactive. Make this a kind of a group experience here. The first thing I want to say is, you know what? A big thank you to all of you guys out there as customers, also as viewers of Let's Talk Reef. We've got tons and tons of great feedback on this program, and it makes us really want to continue doing it and bringing, you know, hopefully great information to you on reef keeping and on the Neptune Systems products and how to use them. Kind of a well-rounded soup, a bouillabaisse, so to speak, to bring a fish reference into it, of information about reef keeping. So a big thank you to you guys. Keep giving us the feedback. Keep telling us what you'd like to see. I definitely want to hear if there's something in particular you want us to talk about, whether it's Neptune Systems gear related or not. Please go ahead and leave us a comment and let us know for sure. Just to remind you guys, so the date's wrong on here, but we do have this every other Tuesday. So 2 weeks from today, we'll be doing it again, and that date will be, if we can do the math, the 18th. So the 18th of December, we'll be doing it again at 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. Eastern time. We'll be bringing this to you live on both Facebook and on YouTube. As I said before, this really is your program too. We're all wanting to talk about reef keeping, so you guys go down there, mash the like button for us if you would. Give us some comments during the program. Give us some questions during the program. I see Facebook people are now with us. You know, Rick Strauss just came online and says, you know what we want to hear about. I'll give you a little bit more information on that, Rick. We'll get to that, wink, wink, as we get a little bit further into the program. But again, thank you. Comment, leave your questions, hit the like button. We want to see all of that. One of the most important things that you need to do, though, is you need to subscribe to these feeds, okay? So if you're on Facebook, for instance, right up there under the banner on the Neptune Systems page on Facebook, you'll see where you're following our page, hopefully, and if you're not, please do follow us. And then if you hit that drop down, you'll see there's a checkbox there you can make for See First. That means it's going to bring it higher up in your news feed, so you'll know whenever we have one of these live streams that it's on. And then below that, we've got the notifications, and you need to turn those notifications on in order to have it come up on your phone and say, hey, Let's Talk Reef is going live right now, and you can stop whatever you're doing and start watching the stream. At least we hope you would. So definitely do that on Facebook. And then if you're not a Facebook person, and I know there's a lot of you guys that aren't out there, obviously you need to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So go out to our YouTube channel. It's at youtube.com/Neptune Systems Video. And you'll see the subscribe button there. Go ahead and hit that button and subscribe to our channel. And then after you subscribe to our channel, you want to click on that little bell. And that little bell will give you the notifications so that you'll know every time that we're doing one of these live streams. And some of them we may do remote, some of them we'll be doing here in the studio. You're not going to want to miss them because we're also giving away free stuff too to those people who are watching. So go ahead, set those notifications up, subscribe to our channel, go follow our page, get the notifications. Definitely worthwhile. So the first thing to cover here with you guys is a little bit of the Neptune news. There's not a whole lot of new news since we've had Black Friday. Black Friday basically is one of these things that kicks off the whole holiday season and the buying season, and really kicks off the reef keeping season too, as people, you know, they've gone back to school, now they're going to get stuff for the holidays, have stuff to play with through their holiday break or their vacation time. So for us here, we have a lot of work leading up to it, and then we have a lot of work immediately afterward as we're replenishing the shelves of everybody who's been depleted across the local fish store and the online universe. But as far as what some of the things are happening, obviously the number one thing that you guys are always wanting to hear about is what's up with the Trident. The information that I can give you today is not any real different than the information I've been giving all along. We are working on it. We're hard at work with it. This happens to be one that's on Paul's tank. Actually, two of them that are on Paul's tank being tested in parallel. We also have this one on Russ's tank right here. This guy is being running for quite some time. We're definitely working our what's off on this to get this out there to you guys. Here's a new picture I just took recently. This is going to basically tell you guys more or less how we're looking to send these out to the NSI guys not too far off in the future. So here's a bunch of them sitting on a floor. We're definitely getting ready to push this out to our insiders, our Neptune Systems insiders. And once it goes there, it's got to be looked at by them, see everything's going the way it's supposed to, and then we can push it out to the general public. We want it to be out there, I can assure you, much more than any one of you guys, and all hands are on deck here at Neptune Systems to make it happen, and that's the best information I can give you at this time. So that's that news. One other piece of news too is that you guys heard that we're probably going to be having Google Home here in the not too distant future. It's going to go out to beta not too far off. So that'll be another voice system that we have available for you guys with your Apex and to control your aquarium. And I know a lot of people are using the Alexa stuff already. It has a great adoption rate, and there's a lot of things people are finding out that they can do by having that voice connected. So it looks like we got a bunch of people now coming in. This is good. I like to see some of these questions. John Tolbert says, hey, he says, hey, are you guys hiring for the Mid-Atlantic area? John, not at this time, man, but you can always keep a lookout and see if we've got new positions. We do have some positions here in Morgan Hill that are available for a entry-level QA person and also for a person on the engineering side for some hardware engineering. So if you know anybody out there, especially if they like fish and they have skills in those areas, send them our way. Okay, let's see here. Let's see if there's another quick question. Some of these you guys write, they're really long and involved, and I can't read through the whole thing, obviously, while I'm sitting here trying to do it. Somebody asked, are we going to do an after Christmas sale? Don't think there's going to be an after Christmas sale. I think the biggest sale we have during the year is during Black Friday. We may have maybe one small little single product kind of thing coming up, but that's still not completely determined, but certainly not anything of the scale of Black Friday. Sasha Matir asks, are there any plans to open up the NSI again? Yeah, I mean, we are constantly looking over all the applications to be a Neptune Systems insider all the time. And at the point that we go, you know what, we need some more people like this, whatever this happens to be, we'll put a notification out on our Facebook page, send people to the sign-up form, and you want to be on the lookout for that. This is even a bigger reason why you want to get these things like notifications and be on Let's Talk Reef all the time. Okay. Let's do this. Let's go on to the next. Somebody says, whoop, whoop, NSI, baby. I think that's James Hildenbrandt. I think he's one of the current members on the NSI, so of course he's happy. Shout out to him. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is I want to do a Neptune Systems dealer shout out. The local fish stores, especially the brick and mortar local fish stores, are out there day in and day out working to bring new aquarists online, helping existing aquarists be successful. And we have quite the network of dealers out there that are carrying our products. So when I do these Let's Talk Reef, each time, whether we're going to go on site, which we did over the Black Friday weekend, or we're just going to give a shout out. I want to make sure that we recognize these guys for all the hard work that they do and for carrying our products. So I'm going to go through a few of these, and if you guys know these stores, give them a big kudos on the comments. They'd love to see that, I'm sure. So the first one is Blue Seas Aquariums. Blue Seas Aquariums is down in Sunrise, Florida. A really great store owner there named Rami, and Rami is the Apex guy in that area. I mean, if there is anything you want to get Apex related, I can guarantee you he has it in stock, and he knows the product inside and out. So if you're looking to get help with your Apex stuff or have somebody from their service team come out, all of that Rami can help you with. They are a great dealer down in Sunrise, Florida. Next up, we've got Aquariums Unlimited. Aquariums Unlimited is in Virginia Beach, Virginia. Another great store that we have on the East Coast. Definitely, if you guys are in the area, go see what they have to offer. I saw some pictures from their place today. Amazing livestock tanks. Beautifully set up livestock tanks for you to come in and take a look at what they have to offer. I have not yet been there personally to this store, but it looks like it's a great store, and definitely check them out. Next one on the list I have been to and know this gentleman quite well. It's Frank from Frank's Tanks in Fort Worth, Texas. And Frank has been around for a long time in this industry. If you are in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you definitely want to go and go down to Frank's place and see what he's got to offer. I know he's got a bunch of new things that he's working on right now. I can't let the secrets out of the bag, but if you stop by there, I'm sure Frank is going to tell you all about it, because that's how Frank is. So definitely stop by Frank's Tanks if you're in Fort Worth. Great dealer of ours. And last but not least on the list right now is Aquatica in Tinley Park, Illinois. Another really great supportive dealer of ours, has all of our products in stock. Definitely the place to go in the Chicago area. So Aquatica, shout out to you guys. Thanks for being a great Neptune Systems dealer, and keep up the great work. So those are our local fish stores we're going to feature this week, and certainly want to hear from you guys if there's a store that you would like us to feature, or even if there's a store that you want me to send one of our regional sales managers down to and do an on-site, because we can do that with using Skype and walk around the store and see what they've got going on. And so recommend one in your neighborhood that you think is a great store. There's Jonathan Dyke. Jonathan Dyke says, Aquatica rocks. Okay, so let's see, what's next on the list here for Let's Talk Reef? So here's kind of a fun one. I don't know what you guys were doing about a week ago, but I put together some of these pictures. Does this look anything like your week around Thanksgiving? Some crazy stuff, isn't it? I went out and tried to find some crazy pictures of aquarium stores on Black Friday, but I couldn't find anything. And I don't know if that's good or bad. Because I don't know if it's because we're just not crazy enough as fish keepers to have this kind of, I don't know, these guys, they're nuts. Or it's just good because we're a little more civilized than these guys. Can you imagine somebody like pulling a bunch of JBJ tanks or something out of one of these fish stores and holding them over their head like these guys? It's just absolutely nuts what people will do on Black Friday to get their gear. But what we did was do a bunch of live streams, and I still want to hear from you guys if that was something that we should continue to do, especially through an event like Black Friday. But the other reason I bring up Black Friday is because I know many of you guys out there bought a ton of stuff, a ton of Neptune stuff, a ton of aquarium things, but specifically Neptune Systems gear that you bought over the Black Friday weekend. And so I'm going to talk about some things kind of related to maybe some of the gear that you picked up, some ideas and some things to think about here in a second. So let's see if we got another question. Oh, I just love that Black Friday picture. Okay, some people talking about the waves. How do you get time to sync on the Apex? That's a good one. Maybe we'll talk to Paul about that one when Paul comes on the Tech Corner. We'll save that one for that. Thanks, John Stevens, for getting your first Apex system. Definitely appreciate that. Steve Tremblay for NSI Emeritus. That's pretty good. Is Neptune going to make a skimmer? Yeah, I don't know exactly if we're going to make a skimmer, but hey, nothing's off limits. Let's talk about some of this new gear. Talk about the first thing. So, first thing in this area is if you did buy any new Neptune Systems gear, the one thing that you're going to want to make sure that you do, because I know, especially myself, we get labeled as men, is open the box, plug it in, and see what happens. But definitely with the Neptune Systems gear, you're going to want to follow usually those quick starts, which one of those steps is going to be go to the tasks menu and run the task. We very often find this to be the most common thing that people end up doing is they don't run these tasks and they try to wing it or go out to the forums and get other people to help them set things up. So as you can see on this screen, there's an ATK task. I've got a bunch of gear here in front of me. I've got, what do I got here? That's the ATK. I've got an LDK. All of these have tasks related to them that you can run, and you're going to want to do that to set them up correctly. The next thing is if you bought a new Apex, it might be one of these things where, let's see, do I have it up here? Maybe I don't have that one up here. It's down on the floor, that's okay. The probes. So on the pH and ORP probes, you may find that even whether it's on the Apex or on a replacement probe, that you'll see this white crust, and you can see it on the image that I have there, around the cap of either the pH probe or the ORP probe. And we get a lot of questions about this, and I see a lot of them out on the Neptune Systems group on Facebook, out on our community forum, and people are obviously concerned. If I bought a brand new product and I saw that on the product, I would be concerned as well. But I want to kind of explain to you what's happening there. Inside those probes is a fluid that is keeping the probe wet, okay? And by keeping the probe wet, it's keeping it ready for you to use in your aquarium right out of the box. And that fluid, the cap seals, but the seal is not perfect on there, and some of that fluid can tend to wick out. And when it does, it has minerals in it, it's like salt water, and that evaporates, and then you get that crust around there. Now, here at the factory, I checked on this actually last week with our operations guys. They actually wipe that off before these are put into the packages, but then it inevitably, even just sitting on the shelf a week or 2 weeks, it still tends to ooze out and evaporate a little bit. Now, Paul told me also that wiping it off, it's great because if you get it right away, it looks nice and clean. But in actuality, that crust slows down the process of more of it evaporating as it kind of creates a seal around there. So there's nothing to really worry about when you get a probe that has that crust on it. You can, when you take the cap off, you can wipe it off. What's kind of important is obviously that there's fluid in there. And it doesn't have to be full. So if you see, like in this picture, this actually came from one of our customers who was concerned because the pH probe in that picture you can see obviously is full of fluid, but the ORP probe, the red one, has that crust on it and the fluid is not completely full. So they were concerned. But just having a little bit of fluid in there keeps the humidity, keeps the moisture up inside there, and keeps the junction from going dry in the probe basically. So you don't have to worry about this. And even if you had a probe that was, completely dried out, let's say you left it out for a couple of days or what have you, what I've been told is that you can soak that in the tank, and after a week or two, the junction will rehydrate and the probe more or less will function as normal, all other things being okay. The other question we get around this all the time is, okay, so I want to move my tank, or I'm going to be moving and I'm going to take my tank down for 3 months and I want to store my Apex. I've kept the caps, which is important, and I want to store my probe. What do I do? Well, you can actually get the number 4 pH solution, that's what we recommend, and pour that into the cap and push the cap back on there and then store it that way, and that probe will be ready to go the moment you take it out and use it on your new tank. So that's a little bit of insight on this as far as getting new, because I know some of you guys are getting new Apexes after Black Friday, and if you didn't, somebody's going to have one under the tree hopefully in a few weeks. So that's the information about that. So now what I want to talk about is a lot of the gear that you guys got for Black Friday. Many of you probably was a product that had the FMM in it. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. Before I do, let me just check to make sure I don't have a question here that's pertinent to what I was just talking about. Okay, nothing. People are talking about some other things. Somebody does a tilapia farm. People are talking about wave pumps. Might be able to get into that later, maybe when Paul gets here, when I have time to read through some of those comments. Anyway, so you guys bought things like the ATK. You picked up things, and maybe you have these already. Maybe you just didn't pick them up recently, like the LDK, the leak detection kit, the FMK, the flow monitoring kit. All of these products all use the FMM. Now, the one thing I don't think people really realize when they buy one of these products or two of these products is none of those kits utilize every single port on the FMM. And so I want to kind of talk about that with you guys to explain to you some of the options that you have and the cool things that you can do with these extra ports. So since it's on the screen there, let's talk about the FMK to begin with. The FMK comes with a 1-inch flow sensor and 2 half-inch flow sensors. So even if you used all 3 of those, you would still have 1 sensor port available here on the FMM. What that means is that you can plug in a multitude of different things. One of the things that you can plug in is an optical sensor. So really handy thing that you could do with that, let's say you have a water make container that when you turn on your RODI, you don't want to forget to turn it off and you want to have an alarm, or maybe you even have a solenoid valve on it and you want to shut it off. Well, you can take and drill a hole, put this right in the top of the brute can, or you can get the one that we have that already has a little magnet on it. I think I might have one on here. And use that, and you could actually put it up or down. You could use this for water level in your ATO, whether or not you use the Neptune Systems ATK. So that's one of the things that you could plug in that 1 spare port you have. Sometimes people don't use both of those half-inch sensors either, and they have 2 ports. Another thing, what else can we put in there? We can put, let's see, how about this, leak detection probe. So if you have the FMK that you bought and you want to add a leak detection probe, you just plug it in. Vice versa, this is the really cool thing. If you bought the leak detection kit, which I have right here, it comes with 2 of the leak detection probes, right? But you can plug in flow sensors into that as well, making it now a flow sensing device and a leak detection device. One of the things I try to tell people also, if you're running, say the ATK, which has 2 free ports on it, one of those can be another leak detection port. And you know, people don't think that sometimes you have an external reactor or an external pump. It's a perfect spot to put that extra leak detection probe and put it right under that spot that it's not leaking now, but it's probably one of the most likely to leak. So anyway, that's that, and there's a ton of stuff that you can get. One of the other things I've got here, I talked about make water. So a lot of people use a brute canister or some other thing. If you happen to get even the leak detection kit, comes with 2 leak detection probes. You could get that same optical switch. You can get a solenoid valve like this and the power supply. And now you've basically built a way to shut off the water from your RODI once it's got to the top, and you'll never flow it out over your laundry room or your garage or whatever else, again, forgetting to turn it off. And you didn't even have to buy another module to do it. So if you picked up any of these things or you have them already, start looking at what some of these options are that you can get, that you can purchase, even a PMUP, right? So even the FMM module that comes with the leak detection kit, you can stick a PMUP on there along with the power supply, and now you've got a little utility pump to use. So, any questions about that? We've got a lot of other questions here about other stuff, which is fine. We can talk about some of these other questions. Let's see, here's a good one on the WXM. Let's see if I can handle this. This is sketchy. Setting up a new build, because the WXM stuff is not my area, it's mostly Paul's area, so I'm going to go for it anyway. Setting up a new build, we'll have 10 Ecotech 15s and 4 MP pumps. How many WXM would I need? Well, that would be 2. Paul is behind the camera right here holding up 2, okay? So yeah, I believe you can get 11 on each one of the WXM modules, and they work for your radions and they work for your vortex, and they don't work for the, what are the name of the return pumps? The Vectras, the Vectra pumps. They don't work for the Vectra pump, but they do work for the radions, and they are really makes running your lights super simple. You just have to put them on a different channel. So you'll have one WXM on one channel and another WXM on the other channel. And if you get into a bind, go ahead and call our support team. We can get you out of that bind. Okay, how long can you leave the solenoid on for safety? That's a question from Steve Tremblay. I don't know the answer to that straight up on how long. It is obviously an electromagnetic device, and you are drawing current through it to leave it open. And that obviously puts some amount of wear on the device. It's something we can definitely look at, Steve, and go out on the forums and ask that question and see if Russ or somebody else can probably fill that in better than I can. But it is a very good question, and we have had people ask, do we have a normally open solenoid valve? We do not have a normally open solenoid valve. Normally open means without applying energy to it, it stays open, and then when you apply energy, it closes, which is the opposite of the way ours works right now. Let's see here. The same question we always get is when the Vectra is going to be supported. As I've said many times all around the internet for years and years and years now, it seems like we have the ability through the WXM probably to control them, but it has to be given to us formally by Ecotech Marine in order for us to make that move, and we don't have that from them. Okay, let's see here. Do you have any recommendation for extending the leak sensor cable? We don't have a product that does that ourselves. I know there are customers out there who have, well, first of all, there's two different kinds of leak sensor cables. If you have the old ALD, it's an RJ11 one, and I know people have extended that one fairly successfully. The new one uses a 4-pin type of 1/8-inch connector. I have not seen an extension for that work yet, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist. And I can't really say how long you could extend it for. But, you know, Patrick, go out there, give something a try, and then come out to our forum and let us know how well it worked. Okay, here is another one. Let's see here. Got a Varios S6 pump and want to hook it to my Apex. What cord do I need for this, and do I adjust the voltage through the app to control my pump speed? Well, there is a cable that's available from the Octopus guys. And on one end it has, I believe, like a headphone jack type of connector. On the other end it has an RJ45 that plugs into our variable speed ports. And once you do that, you just set up those variable speed ports to put them at the speed that you want. And it's really simple to do. Okay, let's see where we are here. We're rolling up on 30 minutes, so we're getting closer to where we're going to bring Paul on here. Let me see if I got another question or two. Okay, is this still on? Okay. AJ says, is this still on? Terrence, do you have a solution, have a skimmer empty into a skimmed tank and stop the skimmer when it's full? Well, AJ, there's a lot of ways to do this. Some people have used an optical sensor in the skimmer cup to do. That can create some problems because it can get some film and whatnot on it. I would say the best way to arm your skimmer cup to prevent this is to use just a regular old float switch, and there's some of them that are extended in length. In fact, the Reef Octopus skimmers give you one that connects to their, I saw this online today, somebody asked this question, it connects to their control module for the pump for the Reef Octopus skimmer. If you want, you can just hack that connector off of there and use the breakout box and wire that right into your Apex and use it that way. So there's the answer to that. Okay. So guys, make sure that you're sharing this. You know, please click the like. Please continue with the comments. Let's, you know, make this really popular out there. Want to let you guys know every one of these things, I always give something away. And the more people I have in it, the more generous I always get. It usually starts with an AFS that I'm going to give away randomly to somebody, along with some swag. I've got hat and T-shirt down here, and some other things like our shot glasses. You saw Paul and I take a swig off of a week or so ago. So definitely go in, make your comments, do your likes, all of that. We really appreciate it. Right now, though, we're going to go into Tech Corner with Paul. So let's bring on that awesome intro that you guys, I know you love. All right, here we are with Paul in the Tech Corner once again. Welcome back, Paul.
How's it going, Terrence?
We're having a good time here at Let's Talk Reef, and I definitely know the people out there appreciate everything that we're doing because I'm reading all the comments.
Good. I'm excited to be here as usual, and had a lot of fun on our last episode. That was a good time hanging out by your aquarium and showing people how to use their dose as an automatic bartender. So check out last episode if you missed that. It was a lot of fun.
I still need to post that video for you too. I'll do that this week.
Okay, the how-to video? Okay, cool. Anyways, so everyone's got these apexes that they got for Black Friday, or they're sitting under the tree right now torturing themselves,
or new gear.
Yep, or they got new gear and things like that. And so what I thought we might do this week is kind of how to make the dashboard your own, the Apex Fusion dashboard your own.
Okay.
So we kind of I'll kind of go through how to set up a dashboard, how it looks when you first get started.
How to personalize your Apex, right? Because when you get it out of the box, it's all generic.
Exactly. And you need to make it sure that it works best for you.
Okay.
You know? So that's going to be what we're going through today.
So we want to jump right into the iPad?
I'm ready.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Let me see if I can get this to work. The iPad thing is great that we're doing.
Yeah,
lately.
we discovered this last week.
The magic of the software.
Yes. So what we see here, right, is the Apex Fusion dashboard, right? And this is what it looks like as soon as you get it connected up to Apex Fusion, right?
Okay.
Actually, I want to look at this camera, don't I? And when it connects up to Apex Fusion, right, this is assuming that you have one Energy Bar 832 and you have our full Apex system, right? You can see that we have, the different probes here and things like that. We have your 8 outlets. You have this gray box that you don't know what it is, and I'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay. And you have a bunch of other things, right? And it's always best that when you first set up the system, right, only connect that Energy Bar 832 first, and then connect everything else up. Don't get all of your devices all connected at once. You'll get confused doing it that way, just because you get kind of an information overload.
I know, because I'm guilty of that all the time. I buy something and I stick all the plugs together, and then I go get the instructions that says, wait. Do not plug everything in.
Yeah, exactly. And the Apex is no different with that, right? So just start off with the base unit, then add your extra things. And for all you guys out there that just are making these immaculate boards, like you're making me envious of it, because I thought I made some good boards, and they're just on fire right now, aren't they?
Oh, I see some stuff out there. I should have actually next episode remind me, please, so I can put some of the. Yeah. I'll do a showcase of Apex boards.
That would be really cool. And so I know you're working on your board. When you're first setting up the Apex, just making sure everything's working before you get it on the board, before you get on your aquarium. It's okay just to have everything out on your table, and just work through it that way. Then move on to the next step. Not under the aquarium.
Please.
Right? So this is what the dashboard looks like initially, okay? And this is in our Apex Fusion app that we have both for iOS and for Android, okay? I'm happy to say that we have it for Android.
Everybody's Apex is going to look like this right out of the box. Everyone's exactly the same.
Exactly the same. The wrappers are the same, the icons are the same, everything's the same. And one of the cool things about the Apex Fusion app, or the website for that matter, is that it fits to the screen size, right? So right now you can see that we have 3 different columns, right? We have the column here with our salt probe, our energy bar probe, and then kind of these extra stuff down here in the third corner.
Right.
Well, if we turn this iPad over to portrait mode, right, you can see immediately, right, that we now have 2 columns here, and the third column actually went down to the bottom. If we were on a phone that was up and down, right, and depending on the resolution of the phone and all, we're just going to only have 1 column, right? So the first column is always going to be at the top. The second column is always going to be below that or to the side of that. And the third column is going to be either below all that or to the side of the second column.
It can be a little confusing, I think, at first for people, for sure.
So, and it just fits to the screen size, right? Doesn't matter how big or small you make to the screen, we're going to make it fit. Okay? So with that being said, right, the first thing you want to do is kind of get things in a position to where they matter for you, right? So for me, right, the way that you're going to do that is you're going to click on this unlock button in the top right-hand corner. Okay? And you can see there, once we unload the lock button, everything starts to shake a little bit. We have this gray bin open up at the top. And now what we can do is we can actually start moving things around. So I'm going to take my temp probe here, and I'm actually going to put that
drag and drop
up at the top, right? Because temperature, by far, is one of the most important things you want to monitor with your aquarium. Next up, I'm probably going to put my pH down here. And guys, no, this isn't my actual temperature and pH right now. This is just on a board. I have it here next to me and all that kind of stuff, And And then, and that kind of helps me get my probes in order, so to speak, right? So,
intuitively, when I would do this, it would seem to me like I'd want my pH next to my temp.
yes, because if you put your pH next to your temp, right, and we go over to the portrait mode again, right, it works right there, but then if we were on your phone, though, then the pH is all the way down at the bottom. Right, exactly. And we don't necessarily want that, right? We want that pH to be right below, everything else.
So your most important things you put in the highest position, working down from the left column.
And then the next thing we have are kind of all your outlets, right? You have all these different outlets. They all correspond to an outlet on your Energy Bar 832. But one of the things that I like to do is I like to take my Energy Bar 832 tile, right? And I like to put that right at the top of my second column. Okay, and what that allows me to do is it allows me to basically get a quick glance of what's going on with my Energy Bar 832.
You can monitor all those outlets right there, right
exactly.
at the top.
And if I want to program one of those outlets or configure them, as we say, you just select it, right, and it goes right into the configuration of that outlet. Okay,
right.
So I can see everything of that tile right on front. I like to put it there. Then I like to organize my outlets based on what's important, right? I want my return pump power to be right at the top. Then I probably want my skimmer outlet. Then maybe I want to have my ATO pump or something like that. You know, these are the outlets that I'm going to
prioritize them of the stuff that is most important to you to know what the status is, or if you're going to be turning something on or off.
Exactly, exactly. And then now when we get, this brings us, we have all of our outlets down here. We have your email alarm outlet. You may actually want to put that up at the top. A lot of people put that right below their probes.
So if you're having an alert that's going off,
and you just want to turn it off, you can turn it off.
You gotta be very careful with that, though.
Yes, because don't forget to turn it right back on. Okay, and in the third column here, we have a media outlet that not a lot of people use, but I'll show you how to use it later. But let's assume that you're not going to use that, so you could actually X that out, and then it disappears. And then I always take my feed and I put it over here on top of my temperature, right? And I do that because if I want to just do quick things like maintenance mode, feed mode, long feed mode, it's just right at the top.
That's what you use those feed cycles for, the things that you most commonly want to do on your aquarium or activities.
Exactly. So I always put that at the top, and then I like to log my measurements too, so I just go ahead and put those right below there. So those two are at the top of my list. So again, when it's in that portrait mode, right, it's right at the top for us. So when we open up our phone, it's ready to go. Okay? And then, assuming that, I don't want to make any other changes, I can just lock it up, okay? And next time I come to my dashboard after I've been doing something or I close the app, it's going to look exactly like this.
Cool.
Yeah.
No, that's definitely, great feedback on that, how to get that going. And what about that clock?
So the clock, a lot of people like
You did have a question, somebody said, how do I get my clocks to sync? Earlier.
Yes. So I know
that's probably not what everything we're talking about because we're personalized the Apex, but since we're here.
Well, Terrence, I would say that's a personalize the Apex kind of thing. Right now, you can see that I have one clock on here, right? If your Apex is not in the right time zone, you have two clocks right there, and it's really annoying you, okay? So how do you get that changed? Well, you get that changed, Terrence, by using this task that we have.
This happens a lot of times, right? Like
because we build all these.
You're traveling too, right?
Yeah.
So you open up also your Apex Fusion dashboard, and when you're somewhere else, doesn't it show two clocks sometimes?
Yes, that's if you're not in the same time zone as your Apex, right? You're going to see two clocks there as well. But if you're at home and you see two clocks, your Apex is not in the same time zone as you are, right? We build these in Morgan Hill, California. So if you open this Apex up on the East Coast in New York, let's say, you're going to see two clocks unless you change it.
Don't we have a task for that?
We do. So we're just going to go ahead and click on the task button up here. Okay.
I'm so smart.
Yeah, you are. And then we have a task for time, clock setup.
There it is, clock
right?
setup. Yep.
And then because it knows exactly where I am, it knows I'm here. You could also select someplace else if you wanted. If I'm in Africa, right, I could select that.
We have a big market there.
Click on next. You want to automatically adjust for daylight savings time. Most people want to do that, right? And then you can set the clock automatically. I'm not going to go through this, update this right now because then my dashboard wouldn't look as pretty. But that's how you change the clock. Really easy. So a little bit of sidetrack there, but that's okay.
Okay.
And now a lot of you got some new gear for your Apex too. And one of the questions we often get is, I just got something new and I want to set it up, right? Well, it's really easy because everything with your Apex is plug and play. Okay, so I got a new dose here, let's say. All right, and I'm going to take my one link, right? And the one link is great because now I don't need the Aquabus cable and I don't need the power supply. I can just use that one link cable that I have with my EB832, and I'm just going to plug it in. Okay. It's going to be recognized in about 20 or 30 seconds, so we're going to come back to something else.
Sure.
Okay. But and that other thing I wanted to show you, Terrence, was you got this name up here. You see this name in the top left-hand corner?
Apex.
Right? It says
it's my
Apex.
Apex.
Right. Well, that's the generic name for Apex.
Okay.
Right? So a lot of people want to name that something unique for themselves, right? So they can make it a little bit more their own.
Awesome SPS 101.
Yeah, exactly. And it's really easy to do that. And to do that, right, we're just going to click on the gear button, all right? Then we're going to click on the Wi-Fi button.
Okay.
All right? Then click on configuration, all right? And then you see there where it says hostname Apex? I'm just going to change this to demo, right?
Good.
But I'm going to do myself a favor so I can find it really quickly because I got a lot of Apexes in my list. I'm going to put a 0 right at the beginning, okay?
Yeah, that'll bring it right to the top.
And that'll put it right at the top for me, right? And then I'm going to go ahead and update it.
Okay.
Okay, and in a little bit, it's going to show that change as now it's going to be called demo. Right?
Okay.
I'm not going to show it immediately, probably about 30, 40 seconds or so. But while I was doing this, does anybody notice what's different on my dashboard?
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, yeah. So we have now this new tile button is actually nice and orange.
It's all lit up, and it's got the little thing on there to tell you you've got something new.
So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. All right. And then I'm just going to scroll through my unused tile bin, right? I got all these outlets here, but the ones that I care about are these ones in blue. Right? So I'm just going to go ahead and pull these down, and I forgot to turn off notifications. How about that? And add this up to my dashboard, right? I'm probably going to put the image of that right above my dose outlets. I'm going to have my dose outlets right below it.
So that's going to basically show me what's been dosing for the 24-hour period for each of those
Exactly, exactly. So I'll go ahead and push a button here so it starts to operate, and we'll actually start to see something there in just a second. Okay? And the final thing I want to show you how to do on your dashboard and make it more your own is, does anybody notice right now, so if I start, touching these outlets, you see how I'm trying to turn them on and off and nothing's happening? Does that ever happen to you, Terrence?
No, because I know what to do, but I know a lot of our customers have this question.
And so we get this question a lot, right? So what to do there is those are actually safety covers, guys. We don't want you to pull out your phone and inadvertently turn off your return pump.
Right.
Right? Because you're just scrolling through, or maybe somebody else is playing with your phone, like who, Terrence?
Yeah, your kids. Yeah, right, your kids pick up that thing, they play with everything. They'll probably figure it out anyway, but maybe there's at least one more step that they have to go through.
Exactly.
You don't want them to fire off a missile or something.
So all you got to do is just, on the outlet, just swipe over. Okay? And this will happen automatically with all touchscreen devices, and now I can turn that outlet on, off, or back over to programming. And I can swipe again to turn it back this way. If I want to open them all up, Terrence, all I got to do is hit this button in the top right-hand corner that's like an arrow sign, and now all of them open. You see that?
Oh, perfect.
Yeah, exactly. And that's it in terms of that. Now, if you don't want that feature like myself, I don't have kids yet, right? So I don't have to worry about anyone else touching things. You can actually go to your settings up in the top right-hand corner.
Okay.
Click on Settings, okay? And then go to Display. And right now, I have that set to be on all touchscreen devices.
Okay.
If I didn't want that, I could switch that over to never.
So it can know, so that if you are on your desktop, it's going to know that you're on desktop, and it won't put the sliders, but it would put them on the, on your mobile device, or you can just take them all the way off.
Exactly, exactly. And then I can just hit the back button a couple times here. And now I'm back over to my dashboard, and I have none of those gray sliders. And then also you can see immediately that, I played with the dose there, it started working as well.
Okay.
So that's this just right out of the box, but I thought I'd show you guys.
Let's get another question first, okay? Because I want to keep this interactive. So it's not directly related to this, but it is related to buying new gear. Somebody asked if they want to add another EB6, what's the longest Aquabus cable that they can use to connect the two of them together?
Do I have to say in meters or feet? Okay,
I'll help you out.
I'll tell you feet. Essentially, the distance you can go with Aquabus cables in any single run is about 75 feet. Okay, so that means you get a couple of our 30-foot cables into an extension cable, and then have an energy bar.
But you can go longer, though,
You
right?
can actually go much further than that, but essentially you need an energy bar about every 75 to 100 feet, so that's about every 30 meters or so.
It's kind of a loaded question because it does matter how many modules you're having in addition to just having that energy bar, and how many energy bars and all of those things go into the equation. But that's a good rule of thumb that Paul has.
Basically, the best rule of thumb is if you're going more than 30 feet, right, it's always good to go from one energy bar to another energy bar. You don't have any signal degradation loss, and essentially getting connected up to that energy bar boosts that signal. Okay.
Okay, well let's go into the next part that you're going to talk about. You had another dashboard you were going to show?
Yeah. So here's my list, right, and there's that Zero demo that I just did. But here's my tank, Zero RS 170.
This is yours here in the office,
This
right?
is my tank here in the office, right? And so as I was kind of also demonstrating to you guys, this is how I have my dashboard
You sure that
set
looks
up.
like one of Milev's corals there?
No, those are my corals, buddy. So like I said, right, I have the my temperatures all over here,
right?
I have the outlets that I care about. Sorry about that, guys. I pressed too long. So I have the outlets that I care about right there. Like I said, I have my energy bar 832 just right at the top, right? I have my core right here, right below that, because I want to know how my core is running most of the time. I have my dose right next to that, and then I have all the outlets that I'm concerned about. I do have my feed cycles right up here at the top, and then I have some on-demand outlets that I know that I use quite a bit in that first column, right? But one thing I'm sure a lot of you are getting drawn to right now is that tile right now that has basically a slideshow of some of the corals and my full tank shot, right? And this is a question that I can't even tell you how many times I get.
We get it all the time.
So the first question that everyone really wants to know is what?
We already got it. We already got one here.
Yeah, I'm sure it's already in the list here.
Yeah. John Stevens, how do I add a webcam?
Yes, so I could tell you how to do a webcam right now.
But it would take us like hours, and then it might not work tomorrow.
Maybe. The big thing is it's probably not going to work tomorrow or the day after that or the day after that, right? And the reason being is all these webcam manufacturers, right, they make it work really well in their app, and they're constantly optimizing
through the
cloud, right? And they're constantly optimizing to make it work better through the cloud. Right? These third-party things to basically get them to go into something else is something, is not a priority.
It's not a direct connection to the camera. So the only way to really get it in the Apex Fusion dashboard is if it's a direct connection to the camera.
Yeah, which is complicated.
Which is complicated because you have to then go through your router and do port forwarding and all this stuff that we learned to hate back before there was Apex Fusion.
Yes. So I'm not going to show you how to do a camera right now because if I did show you a great solution, it would change tomorrow.
But if you want to go out to the forum, somebody may have your camera already and have a whole set of instructions on how to help you out, or you can post out there and try to get some help.
And before you ask, yes, we know you want a camera from Neptune Systems. Trust me, we hear it all the time. If it could just be as easy as wanting it.
Yes,
I'll tell
no
you.
kidding. Among other things.
But what I will do is I will show you really quickly how to do this. I was actually amazed that it was as easy as it was. So, get a keynote here. So basically, I went to a website today called Imgur. Is that how I say it?
Imgur.
The
one used by Reddit.
Imager or whatever, right? And I have my image here, and I would just basically drag that into the box that says drop image here.
Okay, I don't need to create an account or anything?
As far as I know, you don't need to create an account, but your picture is public, right? And it may go away, so you can't say private or public there. And then, just because Terrence always asks me to do this, there's the website, guys.
So
right?
you can go out and do it yourself.
And you have to do this on your on a desktop, right? So on a Mac or a PC. You cannot do this from your phone because they enhance it for mobile right away, and you don't get the same sharing privileges and things like that. So you go to this website. You drag your image into that box I called it, and then there's this thing that says Get Share Links. Okay, so click on that. Click on this button right here that says Copy, right? There's a lot of ones in here. You could use this one here that says for forums, okay?
Right, okay.
And you click on Copy there, all right? Head over to your Apex Fusion dashboard. Click on that gear right there next to your media tile.
Okay.
All right? And then click on the plus sign to add new media. Paste that image that you just copied. Okay. And on the outside, at the end, the beginning of that image, there's this thing that says there's these brackets that say image next to them. Just delete those, right? This is so you could post this into a forum
Not on
or
like
something
our
like
forum or on Reef to Reef or something like that.
Just delete those, and so it looks just like this. All right, and feel free to use my tank and say it's your tank. I won't be bothered by it. And after that, there you go. It's on your image. I have a couple different images here.
So you can add more than one.
You can add multiple images, and that's it.
And when you're showing off your tank to somebody else, and they go, "Hey, what is your aquarium like?" You get to show them the cool desktop that you have. You've got those images handy right there.
Yep.
You can even hit the maximize on there, and it'll blow them up into a little bit bigger picture, so you can show off your tank right there. So while it's not a live cam, live cams are awesome, no doubt, there is still a lot of advantage. Look at the polyp extension you've got on that one, too.
Yeah, I love that. That's the
so
Ven. Buddy here at the office, Vincent, gave me
We're
that
such
one.
Geeks. We're such SPS geeks.
It's my favorite coral in the
gosh.
tank, even more than my Walt Disney.
And he's stingy, too. He hasn't given me a piece yet either.
It's getting there. It's almost fraggable.
Okay.
It's getting there. All right. And that's just a great way to kind of show how to make the Apex your own, right? So we renamed it, right, to something else. We put the tiles where you're going to use, the ones you're going to use most often, in the places where they need to be. And we organize this in a way that works best for you.
Cool.
So,
no, I think that's a great demo, and I think it really covers a lot of the out-of-box anxiety that people have when they get something new like this, and they're just like, okay, what do I do now? Where do I start?
Yeah.
So, these videos are great, too, because they're saved out there. So if you have friends that they get an Apex, they don't know what to do, just send them to this Let's Talk Reef episode, and they'll be able to see how this is done. I always put a link in there down to the tech corner section for Paul. So if you want to skip over all of me, you can and go right into the meat of the
it's
the
understandable,
tech corner.
guys.
Yeah, I know. Hey, we got another question here.
All right, great.
Let's see, where is it? I saw one that was good. This is kind of interesting to me because I've seen it done before. Somebody asked, please make an underwater vacuum cleaner with reverse function to blow off the live rock. I don't know about an underwater vacuum cleaner, but there is a very interesting video out there with Ryan from Bulk Reef Supply, who has taken the PMUP and has mounted it to a stick, like a scraper. He zip-tied it to a scraper, and he actually goes around his tank and blows off all the rocks with the PMUP. So that's a really handy little tip there. So if you want to do something like that right now, you can get the PMUP, plug it into your FMM spare port if you've got one, and away you go.
Full screen.
Okay, so let's go to full screen here and get rid of that screen over there. Let's see if we have any other questions. Obviously, there's people saying, hey, make a camera, you'll be rich. Yeah, well,
we know, guys.
It's,
we know.
It's definitely something there, okay? We've got a few other people asking questions about this and that. Somebody's a Touch ID. Give me some good questions, guys. Another what brand of webcam? Again, the one thing I can say about what brand of webcam is it's got to be one that, at least for now, has like an MJPEG, makes it the easiest way to get the access to that stream, if it has an MJPEG stream.
Well, one thing I will say about the cameras is don't get the one that has the best HD quality, right? Because you have to understand when you're going to be using these webcams, right, is when you're not at home. Right? And they will suck your data down. I had a client actually, right, who has a beautiful camera, right? Just amazing high definition. He burned through my data in about 45 seconds.
Yeah, it's...
and I'm not kidding, right? And the fact that I was even able to see it, and then all of a sudden I got a text message that I'm out of data, and I realized that it was because of that, and it was because of the video stream of that client.
Somebody else asked if we're going to make a 3/8 solenoid valve. I've heard that a couple of times. I know it's on a long list of ours to look at for other reasons, but I don't know if we're ever going to come out with one. But thanks for putting it out there, and I encourage all of you guys, anything that you think that we should do, any kind of feedback that you have, put it in here. Everybody at Neptune Systems that is involved in helping make the products better, they take a look at all your feedback, all your comments, and it kind of goes in and we figure out what's most important, and we do it. We take a lot of your suggestions.
Yeah.
Okay, here's another question from Michael Bonacore. We'll take a couple more questions, then we'll wrap up. We're coming up on the 1 hour. He says, what's the best way to add a second pH probe away from the base unit?
Great.
Go ahead, Paul.
And Terrence, this also tracks great with your how to extend the leak detection probe from earlier. Okay, so the best way to extend a probe cable or something like that is not to get a extension cable or something like that. It's actually just to take that module and move it closer to where you need to be, right? So if your calcium reactor, let's say, is 20 feet away from your aquarium for some reason or another, right?
And that's why a lot of people want to have another pH probe. Some people want to have it to monitor a second tank.
Exactly,
Some
right?
people want it for a calcium reactor.
You know, maybe you want to monitor ORP and do negative ORP or something like that, right? That's a great topic, great conversation we can have sometime. But what you want to do is you want to get our 15 or 30 foot Aquabus cable, the male cable, and get one of our PM1 modules. Okay, with that PM1 module, you then just connect that up. It's going to be right next to where you need to monitor, and you won't have any issues with EMI. You won't have any issues with signal degradation or anything like that.
And you can daisy chain another 1 or 2 modules on there easily.
Exactly.
If you wanted to add
CO2, if you want to add control of the CO2 right there, if you want to add the feed pump power right there, right? You just also place an energy bar there, and now you have 4 outlets that you can work with if you went with an energy bar 4 or something like that. And the big reason why you don't want to use these extension cables, guys, especially for things like flow sensors, leak detection sensors, optical sensors, those sensors pick up on interference very readily. And the longer and longer you extend those cables, right, that's the more prone to interference that it's going to be able to occur on there.
Sure.
And the Aquabus is specifically designed to ignore interference, right? Back, if any of you know what X10 is, right, this was a huge challenge back in the day.
Hey, you know what? Just for the fun of it.
He's going to go get it. You know, back in the day, you had to use X10.
You
and these were
mention
super.
X10. I got to show this because it's fun. It's right here.
Oh, gosh. I didn't even intend for this to happen.
I know, me either, but it's just so much fun to show.
So, you know, it was very similar to the Aquabus, if I could even get it out, right?
I don't even know how it works. It's before Terrence.
You had these phone cables, right, that would essentially go into all these smart home sort of devices and things like that, and the Apex could control and monitor them and everything like that. But because our aquariums have so much power with metal halides and all that different kind of stuff, they were super prone to interference. And that's why Kurt came up with Aquabus.
Oh, that was fun. I enjoy showing that board off all the time.
Yeah,
and one of these days, I'm going to get Kurt in here and interview Kurt.
Oh.
And I don't know when it's going to happen because it's not his thing, you know, to be on camera. But I'm going to find a way to make it his thing, and I'm going to bring that board out again and have a discussion with him and try to get him distracted so he doesn't even know that all of this stuff is here. The lights and the cameras and everything. I don't know.
That's an episode I would sign up for.
Yeah, I know. I think a lot of people would. I'd promote it quite well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Let's see here. We've got Dan Ellis. So we got a little bit of positive feedback here. I always like the positive feedback. I know some of you guys like to throw in a little bit of negative feedback onto these. I'd love to be able to say that I'm going to push that out there on the stream, but I don't think I'm going to. But definitely on the positive feedback. FMK and LDK, the flow monitoring kit and the leak detection kit is a must. Both save my butt. So that's great, Dan. Love to hear the story about that. Go out and post it out on the official Neptune Systems Facebook group. We'd love to hear about it, no doubt. Let's see. How about a Trident Junior?
Trident Junior.
Or Trident 2 or something. It's like, how about the Trident?
How about we just get the Trident, then we can talk about other things.
Then we can talk about the next Trident. Okay.
Yeah.
But thanks, Daryl, for bringing that up. Definitely, we'll see. Let's see. Okay, well, I think that's probably going to be enough. We're rolling up onto an hour here, Paul. We had a great show.
Time flies.
We're coming up near the end of the year. You guys, we're going to have holiday time. We'll be on the 18th. Will be the next one. So
I'll be missing.
You're going to be gone?
Yeah,
can't do a
I'm
remote?
Sure,
I'm going to try to get a remote going. Paul's going to be on the other side of the world.
I think I'll be in a plane, so I don't think it's possible.
Okay,
but
well, we'll see.
If I am and available,
we'll try to get a body double for you.
Oh, okay.
So
I'm not replaceable.
We have you're not. 18th, and the next one after that would be like the 3rd or something.
I'll be here.
Something like that. I don't know.
Can't wait.
Maybe not. But I think New Year's is the next one after that, isn't it? The Tuesday.
The Tuesday.
Anyway, well, it'll be out there, and we'll figure it out. But every 2 weeks on Tuesday at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks so much, guys, for joining us here at Let's Talk Reef. We had a great show this time. Come back again. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Definitely get your comments in here so I can give you some goodies. We handed out a ton of them last week. A lot of people got some great stuff.
Yeah, our admin's been in overdrive with the
handing out
t-shirts
stuff,
and the swag.
All the swag. So anyway, until that time, guys, enjoy those fish. We'll see you next time.
Thank you, guys.